Welcome back to the channel. In this video I will be installing the clutch master cylinder into my Acura Integra. Now this is a GSR. I'm sure it's the same for the GS and LS, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I only have a GSR. Now here I am taking out the clutch fluid from the reservoir. I could not find my turkey baster that I have bought specifically just for this job, and so I just used shop towel to soak up the fluid. It worked pretty well. I only used one sheet and it was able to get out all the fluids. Close up the cap, and I will be taking off the two little bolts that hold the reservoir in place. I believe they are, well, they're either a 12 or 10 millimeter, and I just use a socket on both of them. Really nothing much to it. Now a lot of the stuff on this car I do is not tuning anymore, it's more or less maintenance. For some odd reason the clutch reservoir was losing fluid. You know, it'd be full one night and then the next day it'd be completely empty. So I'm assuming there's a leak somewhere. I had checked the lines in the past before. I didn't see any leaks. Even when I was bleeding it, I didn't see any leaks, so I'm assuming it's coming from the master cylinder. So that is why we are replacing this. And since we are replacing this, I thought I would go ahead and put the direct reservoir on top of it. It's generic off the internet, so make it look a little bit cooler, but just be aware that if you do go that route, it would be a little bit recessed into the engine bay. So if you are to pour new clutch fluid into it, it might spill over the place. So what you want to do is you want to use a funnel. Alright, here we are underneath the driver's side, and this is the cotter pin that attaches to the little connecting bolt that connects the piston to the clutch pedal. Now you can bend this the cotter pin with just your fingers, which I did, and work it around and it'll come out. Now don't lose this cotter pin, because if you do, you'll have to go to the hardware store and find one that will fit it, which I'm sure it's no big deal, but who wants to drive back to the store to buy another cotter pin? So once you get that cotter pin out and the connecting bolt, just stick that cotter pin back into the connecting bolt and just set it aside. And again, I want to reiterate, this is not a how-to or a DIY video. For some odd reason I'm narrating it. It's like I'm telling you how to do it, but it's just me doing it. This is my first time doing this, so you know, if you want to save a little bit of money on labor costs, you can just do it yourself. It's really not that hard. I would say skill level needed 0.5. So here I am removing the bolts that hold the master cylinder to the firewall. Now the left side is really tight. If you've seen in my shorts, you've seen how I set up my tools to access it. You can't get a wrench back there, so you'd have to use a ratchet and a deep socket with an extension and a swivel. At least that's what worked for me. I don't know what could work for you, but that's what worked for me. Now all that's removed, here we are on the front side. We're going to take off this hose. This is the hose that connects the master cylinder to the remote reservoir. I just used a vice grip to squeeze that and hold it tight, that clip there, and then we're just going to pull it out. And all you're going to do is just pull it straight up, apply smooth pressure, and it's going to pop right out. A little bit fluid there coming out, but that's what that plastic bag is for. So this is a 10mm flared wrench. You want to use a flared wrench because if you use a regular wrench, you run the risk of possibly stripping that little, I guess it's a banjo bolt or something. Now if you strip it, you'll have to source a whole new clutch line, and then not only that, but you'll have to put in that clutch line, and that clutch line looks like it's a pain to put in, so you really want to avoid that. Now this car is, I guess, 25 years old now, so it does need a lot of maintenance. You just want to be patient when you're doing things like this, because if you start rushing yourself, you could get angry and then just like, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna muscle my way through it, and then that's when like you strip a bolt, or something bad happens, like a part might break or something. So you just want to be patient and just take your time. Now, in this base is also tight as well, so my wrench here is actually a short wrench, and I apologize for my stuttering because I'm so tired, and I don't write scripts for my videos. I'll just talk as it goes along. But yes, here we are, just unscrewing it, and it's gonna come right out. Goodness, we are still unscrewing it, and like I said, be patient. Don't lose your patience, because that's when you start stripping things, or just cross-threading things. So you don't want to do that. So just be patient. Put on some Mozart or something, listen to some music as you work on your car. I was listening to chickens clucking, so Finally, here we go. It was loose enough to unscrew it with just my fingers, and there's gonna be a little fluid drip, but that's what that plastic bag is for. And also, I wrapped a little plastic bag around it just to keep it debris from going in there. Alright, so everything's loose and off from the other side. All I'm doing here is just pulling it out. Pull it out, and then it is tight here too, so you just want to pull it out and angle it up a little bit, pull it out a little bit, angle it up a little bit, and it'll just come out. And here we go, side by side. So that connecting part, you just want to make sure they are about the same distance, because once you put it in, then that connecting joint there will just slide right in, and you won't have to adjust it. I didn't have to adjust it at all, and the connecting bolt went straight in, put the cotter pin in, and it was good to go. Installation is just a reverse. At this point I just got tired and I just didn't want to record anymore, but here it is all finished. We're gonna screw so quick. So when you install it without the reservoir, because you're not gonna have space to screw that banjo bolt back in, and then screw on the reservoir after you screw in the banjo bolt.